Kelsey Russo, The Athletic. Darius, obviously, JB got, as announced yesterday, got the extension. What does that mean to you to see the coach that has led you guys through this, through these last couple of years to where you guys are now get the recognition, that kind of recognition?
I mean, he deserves it. He really changed his whole culture around. I mean, he's really just doing his job, holding us accountable, having good game plans, switching the game plans in game. I mean, he does everything. So, I mean, he deserves it. We all love him. We all have his back. So, I mean, we're super excited about it.
When you think about when you first got here to now, how has that relationship with him grown over these past couple of years and just kind of where that is now?
Yeah, it's grown a lot. My first year, he was always in my ear about everything's gonna get better. So I just stuck with it. Kept talking to him and JJ Outlaw, and I mean, it's getting better. So I mean, he's like a father figure to all of us. You can always just go talk to him, even if it's not about basketball. And that's the one thing that I really love about him. He's super cool off the court, easy to talk to, and like I said, we all love him.
How does that aspect like help build like a trust on the court then when you have that, off the court relationship?
Yeah, like it's just super easy, like coming into games, and if you have a question or if you want to talk to him about something, he's gonna keep it 100 with you. I mean, he's gonna keep it real with you all the time, and that's the one thing that I really appreciate from him. He's always gonna be honest with you, and it's super cool because, like I said, it's just super easy just to go talk to someone like that. Like we're with each other all the time, so if that's the one person you have to go talk to, I mean, 1,000 times I'm gonna go talk to JB.
JimBuildToken.com. Darius, obviously, playing just one game in the last 8 days. Did you guys sense that there was, a little bit of rust? You kind of had a knock off in the first quarter before you kind of picked it up in those final three?
I think it was just not being on the floor with each other for like the last couple of days. It was kind of weird in the first half, but in the second half, I think the second quarter, we really got going. We started making shots, and defensively, we start getting stops. We started getting back to our defensive principles, and that's what we just expanded the lead, really.
I know you guys, what's going on COVID-wise with you guys is not much different from like all the other teams in the NBA. How have you guys, just dealt with it, knowing that knowing that every day there's probably some anxiety testing, knowing that, if you get the wrong result, you're probably out for about 2 weeks. But that's been a little anxious for you guys as players?
Yeah, I believe so. It's just like, you never know. You could be sitting next to somebody on the bench, and next day they pop up positive, and I mean, just kind of worried. So, I mean, it's hitting everybody though. It's not just us. But like I tell Kelsey all the time, it's always the next up mentality, like next man up. So everybody stepped up tonight, and we got the win. That's all that matters.
You guys that are there right now kind of feel the pressure to hold down the fort a little bit so you get, more guys back? Because I know there's a bunch of guys that can, their 10 days are up by the end of the month.
Yeah. Like I said, next man mentality. Denzel came in, Justin, Kevin Pangos. I mean, our whole bench came in and did really well tonight. And that's what we always talk about, just being ready to play. So that's what they did, and came up big for us tonight.
Well, Matt Robinson, 923 The Fan. Darius, you mentioned some of the bench guys, with all these different 10-day contract players coming in. What does it say about your team that, these guys are able to come in and they still play that same Cavs brand of basketball?
Everybody just bought in. Everybody wants to win. So, I mean, if you have winners on your team, we're going to go out there and compete all the time. And that's what we have on our roster right now. And that's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Let's go on Zoom. So G. There you go. All right,
Marla.
Marla, right now.
Yeah, Marla.
Darius, great to see you. I've missed you. Sorry, Browns are keeping me busy. But I want to go back to JB one minute. When he talked about this before the game, he put all this back on you guys. Like, credited you for the buying in, to his message and all. That's got to be so him, like turning it around and taking it off of him. Does he do that all the time?
Yeah, that's just the kind of guy he is. But we really put it back on him. He's the head of the snake for us. He's the head coach. He does all the scouting and everything like that. So, I mean, we put it on him. He's a great coach. He's just very comfortable with all his players. And like I said just a couple minutes ago, like he's a father figure. You can always talk to him about anything other than basketball as well. So, it's just fun having him around.
And I know you're relatively young, but his communication skills, do you think they're special?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, even without talking about basketball, we could talk about music or anything really. It's just super cool having him around. JB, he's a special guy. It's not a lot of people like this in the league, I think, in my opinion. I've only been around him, but it's just super cool being around him. Super excited he got the extension. Hopefully we get some more wins so he can stay more longer.
Thanks a lot. Hope to see you in the new year. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Darius.
Thanks, Darius.
All right, go ahead, Kelsey.
Kelsey Roos, The Athletic. Larry, obviously, I know this is your first year with the Caps, but JB getting the extension yesterday, what does it mean to you to see a coach that has believed in you guys and built what you guys have here in Cleveland to get that extension?
Oh, it's awesome. Actually, I saw it on just somebody texted me, and I'm just really happy for him, and it means a lot. And I think just the direction that we're heading, just showing the confidence in him being our leader, and so that's awesome.
What stands out to you about the way that he coaches you guys and I guess relates to you guys and leads the team?
Yeah, communication is key, and he's done a great job, him and the whole staff. And I think everybody's coming in with a good mindset, and we can talk stuff out, and we believe in each other. And I think that's what he's been pushing with us. And he obviously wants everybody to succeed, and so he's been a great leader for us.
And then tonight, obviously with the Raptors being down a lot of guys, but you guys also being down, how do you guys approach this stretch and just kind of this next man up mentality, but really just hang your hat on how you guys play and fight through these games?
Yeah, obviously we do the necessary stuff. Then we try to not get COVID and not getting hit by it, and we try to do everything that we can, but you can't control everything. And like you said, we've had the next man up mindset the whole year, and I think that's what we're gonna have to do it in the future as well. Just guys coming up from G League, and they're coming in ready to play, and we weren't happy with the energy that we brought at the beginning of the game, but just knowing that our team can pick it up and just bring up the intensity, and kind of the gates open up after that. And it just shows you how everybody is coming in ready to play. If it might not be someone's night, certain game, and that happens in an 82 game season. So knowing that your teammates have your back and they're ready to play too and pick you up, and that's a great feeling.
Was that a conversation you guys had at the end of the first quarter to be like, hey, we gotta
Yeah,
bring different
we
energy?
always hang our head on defense, and I think 34 points in a quarter. I think that's what they had in the first, and and so I think that's just too much, and we kind of picked up the intensity, and they were in the 20s, low 20s after that. So I think that's the main thing. We just got to have the energy and get dirty on the defensive end, and everything else takes care of itself.
Tim Beal, Cleveland.com. Lauri, I know you got a handful of guys in the protocols. Are you and Kevin obviously being in it before? Have any of the guys reached out to you as far as how you kind of handle what you were going through and ramping up to get back? I mean, how much you kind of like kind of coaching them through kind of the end of the protocols?
Yeah, I mean, we were the first to go through it, me and Kevin, and so even if they're not asking, I think we're trying to do our best to help them, and I feel like it's the same I mean, what I've been hearing from other guys, they've had the same kind of ramping up issues that we had, kind of like how it feels in the beginning, and it gets better and better, and so we try to help those guys who are going through it right now, and luckily they've been pretty healthy from it, so we just gotta hope that keeps going, and but just try to tell them that it gets easier.
No, you talked about, the next man up mentality. I know you guys are focused on just one game at a time. Is there a part of you guys rethinking that you guys just gotta kind of hold it down until reinforcements kind of start to come?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can't control what's going to happen, and we can't look too much ahead. We got to go day by day and go. We got to bring 110% every night, and like I talked about, we got to do full 48. We didn't do it the first quarter this time, but just it helps. We hope to get our guys back as soon as possible, and but I think, like I said, everybody's been ready to play, and we go day by day.
Matt Robinson, 93 The Fan. Lauri, when it comes to night, it seems like whoever's in the lineup, it's still giving you that same Cavaliers tough basketball. What does it say about this team and this locker room where somebody like Justin Anderson can come in, who's on a 10-day contract, and lead the team in minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what he can do as a player, but I think the big thing for us being just high character guys, and we have a great thing going on in the locker room. Everybody wants to see everybody else succeed, and so we're lucky to be in this position that we got such a great thing going on and off the court, and like we've talked about our style of basketball, we compete hard and we play unselfish basketball, and as long as you do something else for someone else, you can't be wrong. So I think it's never easy to come in a new building, a new team, but I think all the guys have been doing a great job, and we're trying to help them as much as we can.
Thank you.
Any questions on Zoom? Joe, do you good?
Thank you.
Thanks, Lon.
Thanks, Lauri.
George Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was. Closer to the Athletic, Jamie, obviously we know what your main roster guys can do, but what did you see from some of those guys that haven't gotten tons of minutes to play throughout the season tonight, being able to get extended runs, guys like Kevin Pangos and even some of the guys you just signed? What did you see from them?
But they showed that they could carry on what we're trying to do, and I think that's important. They showed that they could complement the group and be productive. I think sometimes when you're intermixing guys, things can get scattered. But I thought our guys did a really good job tonight of just staying within our system and continue to execute that.
And I know obviously we've talked about Kevin Love's role this season and throughout this whole time, but just up to this point, what stands out to you about just his consistency in the way that he's, especially tonight with 22 points, just being able to affect the game so much, even in the circumstance of being down so many guys, but a consistency factor for him? What stands out to you?
Well, I think how much better he makes the team in smaller minutes. There's not many guys who can consistently get you 18 to 20 points in 18 to 20 minutes. And, he has the ability to do that. And then, go get you 8 or 9 rebounds on top of it. So you think about the pressure that puts on defenses when he's out there being that productive and, in that shorter time, that means, they've got to amp up what they're doing to defend him, and they've got to pay more attention to him. And then that opens up opportunities for other people as well. But, I think, sometimes people have forgot, who Kevin Love is. And, those open threes and things like that he's able to get knocked down, like, he's an elite shooter and he can make those shots and make you pay.
Throughout the season, I guess, have you continue to have conversations with him just about as he has had these moments, just about his role and everything, or just kind of what's that communication been like throughout the season?
I mean, again, our relationship, is awesome. So it's, we have conversations every day. And it's not just about basketball, you know, in his role and things like that. Like, you know, he and I are bigger than basketball when it comes to our relationship. And, you know, the trust that I have for him, the trust that he has in me, you know, so we always, like, there won't be a time where our signals are crossed because we do talk so much and communicate every day.
And then you guys had 6 turnovers in the first quarter, and then it ended the game with 12. What changed? What, I guess, was there a conversation where that you guys had a timeout or anything that those needed to?
Yeah, I think we knocked some of the rust off. You know, obviously going through all this stuff and not playing as many games, and then in practice, like we said, trying to keep guys isolated. Like, you know, there's certain things that happen in the game that you know, that in a 1-on-0 workout or, you know, one versus coaches, whatever it may be, that you can't simulate. So our guys just needed to play a little bit. And I thought, you know, they started to knock the rust off in that second quarter.
Go ahead, Tom.
TimBeal@Cleveland.com. JB, you know, you just talked about the rust and the fact that you guys only played once in 8 days before today, limited practices. How do you balance, you know, making sure guys are rested and not getting too overworked, going from, you know, one game in 8 days, all of a sudden you got, you know, 3 others in the next 4 or 5 days?
I mean, you know, a lot of it is up to the guys in our strength and conditioning group. And I think they do a really good job of making sure that guys are doing and getting the work in that they need. And you know, it may not always be the pounding. So we save, you know, feet and knees and joints and stuff like that. But they do a great job of making sure that the guys are getting everything they need from, you know, sleep, you know, nutrition, recovery, all those things. You know, and then our job is to manage the basketball, you know, whether it's the practice time, like our guys need to be fresh for 7 o'clock. And what we've watched is like our guys continue to compete and they play hard. So the most important thing is we make sure they have their legs for 7 o'clock, and then we'll be prepared for these stretches of game after game.
You know, with this busy stretch coming up, I know you have a lot of your guys in the health and safety protocols, you know, coming up to that 10th day. Obviously, you're not going to have a lot of turnaround time between games. How do you manage, you know, those guys coming back, you know, working them in slowly as they continue to get reconditioned?
I mean, that's what it's going to have to be. And each guy, you know, it's different. That's the, you know, the tricky part about this, how they're affected, you know, what the symptoms may have been or may not have been. So each guy is different, and we just have to approach it on an individual basis and figure out what those guys need and, you know, slowly start to ramp them up. You can't come back after being out and not doing a whole lot, you know, and us throw you out there for 35, 38 minutes. So we have to do what's smart by our guys and make sure that we always put them in the best position.
Anything else? Anything on Zoom? Joe D.
JoeJCavs.com. Coach, that first quarter, obviously, you led only by one, but is that just a matter of like really learning new opponents, guys that your guys just aren't used to seeing, just unfamiliar?
You know, I thought that, you know, the Raptors came out and played hard, and they were, you know, out competing us in moments where, you know, we gave up, I think, 7 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. And to me, that's just about the effort that they were playing with. You know, and us trying to find our way. But I think, you know, as the game went on, we started to be more physical, box guys out, keep them off the boards, limit their second chance opportunities and those things. But I think, you know, the Raptors, they came out, you know, and really competed well.
And then Denzel Valentine, it seems like every time you've turned to him in extended minutes, he's hit a big shot, and he kind of kept momentum going at the end of that first half. How big was he just to kind of keep that thing rolling?
I mean, he was great. And, you know, again, that's who he is. And, you know, we're fortunate that up and down our roster, we have guys when we can put them in the game that they can contribute. And, you know, he plays with a toughness and an intelligence, and then obviously the ability to make shots where, you know, when you give him an opportunity, he can help you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right.
That's it.
Thanks,
All
Coach.
right. Appreciate you
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.
Thank you.
Kelsey Risley, Athletic. Kevin, I know you said something post game, but what does it mean to you to see JB get the extension that he got, and just, you know, the way that he's helped build this team and everything so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's been really just incredible for us. He sets the tone for us every single day. He brings a level of, you know, integrity to the game. He trusts our process. He trusts us, and it's well deserved. I mean, he's really led the way of building a culture for us, and we follow his lead. So I think we're just whether it be the veterans or the young guys, just an extension of him and what he's brought to the table for us and what he's made here so far. But to see him, as a long-term head coach, it makes me, very happy for his family, like I mentioned out there after the game, but just really excited for the possibility for all of us here in this organization to see him as the face and the head coach of our team.
And obviously, you've been here since he started, the ups and downs and everything in between. But what stands out to you, just the way that he's coached through this and kind of like you said, like led this team to where you are?
His I always talk about people's belief system, including my own. For him, it never wavers. He's seen it all before, even before he came into this league through his dad, and just having that basketball background. I don't think really anything surprises him. Like I said, he trusts the process, and he's going to continue to grow with us. His accountability is always there for each and every one of us. That's one of the things that I love most, and why I respect and trust him is because even tonight, for example, in the first quarter, one, we weren't playing hard enough. We were getting outworked and we were getting crushed on the glass. And I tried to kind of calm everybody down and say something. And he stepped in. He said, okay, love, I'd like to be the savvy veteran, the guy on the team that has a big voice, guy that's, kind of seen it all and done it all in some aspects. But he had to tell me that I was wrong. And I had to take that on the chin. But that's how it is, guys. 1 through 15, 16, 17, whoever's, that next man up, he's going to let him know how he feels, and we got to respect that. But the thing is, he meets us halfway with respect. And I think that's a beautiful thing just in life, but also in coaching.
He said before the game, he put a lot of the credit on you guys for the way that everyone's bought into this. But obviously that comes from somewhere, and like you've touched on before. But so what's that kind of that to see both sides, you guys are bought into him and he credits you guys for that buy in his success. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just infectious the way I keep using that word, just like how we, in the term of us just celebrating each other. And I think it's, just seeing, guys have success is what, makes us whole, makes us who we are. And, you saw Trey Scott tonight get his first NBA points, and, in the locker room after the game, we were, we were just excited for him, genuinely happy for that next guy, that got called up when we aren't whole. We have guys out like so many teams in this league, but I think it's, again, just everybody putting in the work every single day. The coaching staff all through our organization, Jerome over here, and all the players. So we just, we come prepared. Preparation is very, very high level. We fight and play hard every single day, even in practice. And, I think that's where the respect goes all the way around. Thank you.
Mhm.
Tim Beal at Cleveland.com. Obviously, the COVID stuff is not unique to you guys. You mentioned being the savvy veteran and the veteran voice on the team. You and Lauri went through the COVID stuff just not too long ago. Have you found yourself kind of being that voice, being that, essentially, I guess, veteran as well for those guys that are still going through the protocols, the guys who are dealing with this stuff right now?
For sure. And I just, it's I'm thankful that we have, we can stay in touch either, by way of it being, virtual or on a group chat, that sort of thing. So we still are connected in that way, but no matter what you do, there is going to be that disconnect. But we want to make sure guys are still engaged, still obviously understand that they're a part of this, and, having guys like, JA and Evan, who are a part of our starting unit out, others, obviously need to step up, but I think it's on us, whether it's guys are out or guys that, now step up and are on 10 days or stepping into more minutes to make sure that they stay locked in and understand their next man up. I mean, for example, Denzel was great for us tonight. He's a consummate pro guy that stepped in, almost had a double-double, knocked down a ton of threes for us, was defending, had 2 big plays at the end of the half. So I think it just is a big credit to the professionalism on our team. But to your point, I think Lauri and myself, having gone through it in early November, I think for sure it's just a way of empathizing with guys and, of course, I probably feel worse, not that, I want anybody to have it, but I feel worse for, Jetty, because he doesn't get to see his fiance all too often throughout the season. And, she was supposed to, I think, meet us in Washington. And I just was kind of brokenhearted for him that he got put into protocols and doesn't get to see her. Cause I mean, it's just, it's sometimes bigger than basketball. We've created a family type atmosphere here, and, I have to wait another 6, 7, 8 weeks till All-Star break to see his fiance. But, I think it's up to us to, pick him up if he's feeling some sort of way. And, he's been having a great year. So we want him to come back and feel like he's, back on the same foot when it comes to playing basketball.
I know you guys kind of have a next man up mentality, focusing on, controlling what you guys control, but is there any kind of, just anxiety, every day knowing that, another guy, whether
For
it's
sure.
from your team or from anywhere else,
Mhm.
just that pops on the couple list, is there like any just, kind of anxious, never knowing what the next day is going to bring with all this?
For sure. I think at the end of the day, I mean, like us as people, we just want everybody to be safe first and foremost, but the league has really gone through it. Like you said, it's not just us. It's been every team. I mean, look at the Raptors. They're probably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the past week or two that have been hit the hardest. I think obviously the team that looks by the numbers been hit the hardest, Chicago Bulls, but it's everybody. And it's on a bunch of guys that maybe not our full-time roster guys, but 2-way guys, 10-day guys that are stepping up for us. But the guys that haven't got it yet, we want to continue to keep them safe, get guys back. And I just think that naturally with like the strength in numbers idea of basketball or team sports, you just feel better and more comfortable and more competitive when you're whole.
Matt Robinson, 93 The Fan. Kevin, you were with JB earlier in your career in Minnesota. What's the biggest difference between what you saw with him then to where he is now getting the extension with Cleveland?
Yeah, I think just time. And I think, it's funny in this league, like, there's, if you kind of trace back where JB had come from and what he had stepped into in other places, in some cases a little bit unlucky. And you weren't necessarily, building something, to his favor. But, it's a different thing here for sure. And I just think, in terms of, I feel the same way as a player. Like my first 3 years in the league, obviously JB had been in the league before me, but, he understands who he is. He's more comfortable in his own skin. He's more comfortable as a coach. And I think he's learned so much, whether it be what to do or what not to do. I think we all, just in life experience overall, finally, kind of settle into that. And he knows what he wants. He knows he wants to get out of our team, and he understands how to get the best out of us, and we follow that lead.
And then on top of that, too, with tonight's game where, you have guys coming off the bench and those 10-day contract guys like, Justin Anderson and, you mentioned Trey Scott as well. What does it say about your team where, you have those guys who have barely been with the team for a few days and they still come in and play that same brand of Cavs basketball?
Yeah. I think I said after the game too, like, first thing, typically when we get somebody new or guys come in or somebody goes down or it's next man up, JB always, says, kind of brings us together and, kind of defines not only roles, but, what our expectation is out of guys. And I think just continuing to reiterate that and speak that into existence is something that he continues to do. But, I was looking at the stat sheet here and I was saying it on the bench. I was like, let's get everybody on the board tonight in the points column. And we did that. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see, everybody score, everybody playing together, everybody sharing the ball. And I would bet you that, you guys, somebody would know it, that we're right up there with a team that shares the ball the most. I know there's got to be advanced statistics for that, but I imagine that we're right up there because we just, we have our terminologies and kind of words and things we live by, and that one more is something that we continue to preach.
Thank
you. Mm-hmm.
So Zoom, Marlo?
Marla Ridenour, Akron Beacon Journal. Yeah, Kevin, just one more thing about JB. Do you think his communication skills are special?
With me, he's a pretty shitty communicator, actually. No. I think that I really do believe that his ability to get through to guys is very high level. To get the best out of guys is very high level, and for a young team, I think that we're highly motivated as from a personal standpoint, but he knows how to take that to the next level. He has that way of just I mentioned earlier, holding people accountable. That can be lost sometimes, in professional sports. I've seen it on, a number of teams, or, something can go sideways or something can fester. He doesn't let that happen. He's a very good communicator, a very high level communicator. And I think he understands, the good things that we have going here. And he kind of incubates that, he bottles that up, and he wants to continue to make that grow, and he doesn't take any days off, and that's what I respect and appreciate about JB. He lives, eats, breathes basketball.
And when he said tonight, you were wrong, or like what you talked about earlier, did that take you back to the old days?
Oh, of course. And that's kind of what I'm speaking to, is that he's not shy and not afraid to have tough conversations, and it's always met halfway with respect. And I think when you do that, there's so much growth to be had. I mean, it's easy to have these easy conversations. It's easy to push things to the side and not communicate, but at the basis of any great relationship is communication, and he knows how to do that. And, I can't say enough good things about JB. Maybe when I walk out of here, I'll talk some shit about him, but no, listen, like, for me and him, it's bigger than basketball. And again, I want to be part of the solution with him, because I believe in JB.
Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on Zoom? All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Okay.